Hello again. It is Manifestation Monday, and it is much earlier in the day than I normally make a video, but Spirit moved, and so must I. So I generally try to do I bought this rather expensive, it's called Ritual Planner. And it's cute. I like it. It does the job as well as it could. I mean, like, everybody's different, so it doesn't suit my exact needs, but I do like it, and I've been trying to almost every single day fill it out. And if I go days without filling it out, kind of write a little note to myself about what was going on that made me not stay consistent in this practice. Because what I'm trying to do is make more appointments that I keep with Spirit, Universe, God. I know that keeps me grounded as a person, so I want to keep doing that. So if you're not a spiritual person, what is it that you know that if you consistently do it, it makes you feel better? And then can that be a goal? Because that's kind of what I'm doing about this. So anyway, I sat down, and at the beginning of the week, there is this affirmation intention section to like get the week started. By the way, there's a full moon tonight, or a new moon tonight, in Aries, and I'm going to link this really great astrology video to it, about it. Okay, anyway. So in this book, there's this affirmation intention part, and I was going to pull out my Wisdom of the Oracle, pull a single card to like kind of guide that reading. And as I was doing it, I just sat down and flicked on the OJC Astrology April New Moon, or Aries New Moon 2.0 video. It's a very short video. I've never seen a 15-minute video from her. And I thought this will be perfect while I'm sitting here kind of jiving in my journal. Maybe I'll pick up a message. And then these cards just kept coming out. And I was like, okay, starting to tell me a story. Because even if I were to do the Monday spread for today, the 12th, there's only spots for 3 cards, you know? So, and then what I was seeing was in line with what OJC Astrology was saying. And then OJC Astrology, her name is Olivia, was talking about being bold and being brave in this time and standing in our power and all that kind of stuff. And I was like, so anyway, I figured this was, since her video is not for me, myself, even though it was for me, and that's how this stuff works, right? It's a general collective energy. Since she was just describing what should be happening to us emotionally if we want to move forward in Ascension, in accordance with what the astrology says, it should be relevant to everyone. And since this reading was so hard-hitting for me with that video, I decided to share it with you all. So, the first card is the Observer card, number 46. And this makes me think about what I've been doing in the last couple of months, couple of years, depending when you start counting it, which is really observing myself. Right? Because I wasn't always liking the outcomes of all of the behaviors or the choices that I made in my life. And since I was not really enjoying that, I needed to observe and see what the chain reaction effects of my behavior, or what got me there, right? It's kind of like looking for the triggers. So that takes some serious observation. And what that's also required of me, number 49, the very next card, number 50, No Place Like Home. It's required me going into sort of a hermit mode, because it's a lot of work to track someone's entire behavioral pattern, right? There was a lot of therapy involved, medications involved, there was a lot of things involved. Now, that's not true for everybody. Not everyone has mental illness or trauma response stuff that they're working through in order to diagnose their behavior. But we all have behaviors that were built into us through society, through our families, whatever, that don't actually suit who we are as a human being. So the only way we can identify those things is to observe them. And it's easiest to do that in the privacy and comfort if we're blessed to have a home, right? So it's like pulling in, if you don't have a home, like even you can do this because you can pull inside of yourself, right? So if our true home is our body, is our vessel, which contains all of the pieces that make us a biological human, and in some measure may contain our soul but may not, it's really hard to tell because who even knows? That is our home. As long as our consciousness resides within it, this will be our home. So we can pull inside of ourselves to do this observation, because honestly, it's really hard to figure out what we think and what we know and what we are with everybody else's opinions built in. Even the best intentions, even those that we ultimately agree with, only we can truly observe ourselves in totality. So we do that from privacy and comfort. And I just love when numerology happens and the 49 card was followed by the 50 card. The result of making a decision to observe from an objective point of view and without judgment, to observe for the purpose of growing from this home, that brings number 23, peace. And it requires peace to be bold. It requires peace to be brave, right? We have to do the work of silencing our demons, which are mostly within, and sometimes without, and come to a place of peace. And when we're at that place of peace, this is in accordance with Maslow's hierarchy of needs, right? You have your basic needs, and self-actualization, like our becoming, is at the top. You have to meet every single other needs, your base physiological needs, your basic safety needs, your basic connection needs, like all these different things. And when you have all of that perfectly, then you can reach self-actualization. Okay, this is literal theory that they teach teachers to understand about the children in their classrooms. And that's how we can understand, right? That's part of the training. That's why teachers' jobs are so hard, because you might have 130 students. I never did. I think I maxed out at like 100 students in one school year because I only taught the one. But sometimes my partner, who's also a high school teacher, has 130 or 140 students on a roster, of course, across all of the different days. So in order to be able to see each one of those individual 140 people as a person, teachers have to be trained to notice things based on the science around it, because these studies have been compacted and done, and Maslow made this cute, nifty little chart, and so, like, we use that in child theory or whatever, but in human theory. And what that gives us, when we understand and we can reach that safe place, is the room to number 44, angel number, think. If you add 4 and 4, how do I make this? Whatever. If you add 4 and 4, it makes 8, which is a lemniscate, the infinity symbol. And so thinking is an ongoing forever process. And I just want to point that out. You don't stop, right? But we get to work at and change and think about what we think about, right? And it's not easy. I've had to learn to stop thinking about and unthink and rethink so many different things in my life. And it's an ongoing process. I do that every single day. I spent my weekend with my partner noticing things about myself from the comfort of my own home, from a place of peace and quiet and solitude. And it's given me this room to think. And as I think in the safety and the comfort of my home, which is really inside of myself, because I'm getting safer and more comfortable in here. As I get safer and more comfortable in here, it gives me the room to think. And when I think, this next card that came out is a change in the wind, number 12. Which the very next card is the number 24. I just want to point out. Oh, the very next card is the number 36. I just want to point out. That's going by 12s, right? 36, 46. Yeah. 12, 24, 36 is 12s in a row. We got the 49, 50. We got angel number 23, 44, like... Oh, and 23, 24, 36. Okay. You get it, right? This is why I love this stuff. I can't make it up. It's just... I mean, you didn't see me do the shuffle, and normally I want to do the shuffle on camera, but I couldn't let this reading pass me by. So with all that thinking, with the safe, comfortable acknowledgement of who we are without value judgments. Okay, this is how we became this way. How do we want to change? What will make us the happiest? What will make us live in our power? That's what we have to ask ourselves. That's what I ask myself. That's what I'm encouraging you to ask yourself. And what OJC Astrology was basically saying the stars are saying it's time to do. And she was naming all this stuff like since last September, October in Libra season, which is literally when I took my cleanse. She was like, people have been changing and going through a lot and stuff. And I like abstained from sex. And I live with my partner. I mean, you know what I'm saying? So for 33 days as a gift to myself for my 33rd birthday, like I didn't drink coffee. I didn't drink alcohol. I was eating cleaner, like all those kind of things. And a lot has happened to me as a person individually as a result of taking that approach. But that took a change in my thinking and then a change in my action, but also a change in my belief of what was possible for me, right? But it was only possible for me because I was already doing the work to clear out some of the junk, right? So after that thinking comes that change in the wind. And then things are going to slow down. She was just talking about at the end of this video how we're about to go into retrograde season and things are going to be more dense and slowed down. We're going to have had all this revelation, had all this change and made all these differences in our life from this new moon to this full moon. But then as we move into a retrograde season, things are going to slow down a little bit and become more dense. So it's just like, this is telling all of us, like, when that happens, rest. Then start this process over again. Observe what happened from the comfort of your home, inside of yourself. Find new peace in that denseness. Think through what you need to think through from the safety of those places. And then there's going to be the final steps. We're going to understand this change in the wind. We're going to know more about where we're going and where we're headed. She said in this video, it's so weird how this video is so aligned. She said in this video, like, this is what we've been figuring out this time. And now that as we go through that rest, then it's going to be time to number 36, come to the edge. This is going to be leap of faith. This is where that be bold, be brave really comes in. It also says be kind, which is something I really try to do, but I'm not always perfect at it. And then at the bottom of the deck was this number 1 Yang card, which is like this masculine energy. And I've been really leaning into my feminine energy despite I avoided it completely for years because I felt like I had to prove that I was transgender, genderqueer with they, them pronouns by behaving masculinely. But also those are parts of myself, so I just leaned into that a lot. But then ultimately it didn't get me what I was trying to get anyway, so I observed that, retreated into my home, got at peace, thought more about it, allowed for the change in the wind, take a nap, come to the edge, and here I am on the internet regularly talking about how transgender I am with my they, them pronouns. I've been thinking about trying to wear a dress again, but my legs rub together. So that's probably going to be a no for me. Split the deck, new life and yang. Wow. So feminine with this new life, with that masculine energy. I'm going to pull the final message live. Message in a bottle. Interesting. Okay, Olivia, if you're watching this, there's white feathers all over this card. So if you watch this OJC astrology video, you'll see that during the video at one point she goes, and is just watching this white feather that apparently lands down by her car. So maybe this is a message in a bottle for you, Olivia, that you're doing an amazing job. OJC astrology. Wow. Come to the edge, y'all. Also, final note, this is a never-ending story. Okay? We're going to go through this process over and 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 over again. And we have this entire lifetime to ascend as far as we can. So, where are you going? Where do you want to be in this life, in this world? Think about it. Find out your why. Lean into your higher power. That's the secret. Love you. Be blessed.